All right, welcome back to Speak for Yourself from the Crib. Jason Whitlock, Marcellus Wiley. Time now to move out to LeVar Arrington's crib. He's going to join Speak for Yourself from the Crib, presented by Hyundai. LeVar, welcome. Hey, man, yesterday I was explaining to you and Marcellus, I believe, that some men run their house and some men run around their house. And one of your kids, LeVar, actually emailed me a photo of you at home, and it's a prime example of you, of what I was talking about some guys running their house. It's the Nittany Lion King. Do we have the, we have the photo of the Nittany Lion King, LeVar Arrington here.
I look amazing.
Have y'all seen the Tiger King? This is the Nittany Lion King.
Mr. Whitlock, why are you hating Mr. Ronald Isley face with the between the sheets leather jacket on? Mr. I haven't taken a shower, so I'm going to wear the same shirt 2 shows in a row, face. I'm on it. I ain't even going to say no more. You know why? Because he probably has armpit hairs full of dreadlocks that need to be combed out and handled like the old school man that he is. I'm on it.
That is true.
I'm glad you got him, man. Good. That was good.
I'm on it.
All right. Let's move on to Lamar Jackson, who some are offering up. I think SI offered the opinion that Lamar Jackson should be the favorite to win the MVP again next season and go back-to-back. All right, Marcellus, I know this is your guy, so you probably agree with this. You see Lamar Jackson as the favorite to be MVP again next year?
No. And I'm the biggest Lamar Jackson fan in the world. Oh, reading through this, man, this was tough to read through because of the calculations, the arithmetic that they were using to come up with the conclusion that Lamar Jackson will be the back-to-back MVP. I'm not buying that. So basically, in summation, would you take Lamar Jackson to win the MVP again, or would you take the field? Obviously, you would take the field because we know how these stories are collected and finally taken into account. When you're talking about the MVP, it's not just who's the best player. Because if it was just like that in the NBA, we wouldn't be talking about LeBron right now. We'd be talking about Giannis, who is actually playing better than he did last year when he won the MVP. But what starts to happen when you talk about MVP? Storylines. Oh, all these journalists and reporters start talking about, oh, this guy is great in the community. Oh, this guy is tremendous in the locker room. Oh, he's been passed up before. It's his turn. So somebody's going to go out there and write a story that whoever donates the most to COVID-19 and has a couple of good plays is going to be in the MVP race against Lamar Jackson. And trust me, he's going to make some noise. It's just a weird world where it's not just about how good you are that gets you that trophy. So I don't think he's going to get it, despite balling again next year.
Interesting. Yeah, listen, I think it's going to be Patrick Mahomes that ends up being the guy that everybody is talking about. I think the hype machine is totally behind Pat Mahomes. After coming out of a improbable win in the Super Bowl, the way he played to pull it out, he got the last MVP award of the season, getting Super Bowl MVP. Everybody's going to be on the Kansas City. Can they repeat Super Bowl appearances and wins again? Patrick Mahomes has the hype machine in a way where all he has to do is play Patrick Mahomes football, not above and beyond, but just his way of playing football, and he should be the guy that's in the driver's seat to actually get that crown once again.
I disagree with both of you all. Listen, I think Lamar is a logical choice to repeat as MVP for the simple fact that the whole offseason appears to be getting wiped out. And so I think the opportunity for teams to really sit down and address how they're going to deal with Baltimore's very unique offense that we saw the entire NFL basically struggle with during last year's regular season, they're not going to have the normal level of preparation in trying to decode that offense and try to deal with that offense. And I think that passing games are going to suffer the most by this disjointed offseason we're having. And so here comes Lamar Jackson again, that very physical running offense that they have in Baltimore. I think it's going to be one of the few offenses that hit the ground running at the beginning of the season. And I think the narrative early, the first 6-8 weeks of the season is like, damn, Lamar's doing it again. And once he gets that narrative rolling, I think it's going to be downhill. I do like Lamar Jackson as the favorite here because I just don't see a lot of teams having the necessary prep time to decode this offense that no one could figure out all of last season.
I disagree again. Let me tell you this. Lamar Jackson's going to ball out next year. Lamar Jackson may even put up better numbers. Won't win the MVP. But to come back at what you just said in terms of the offseason and how it's disjointed right now, won't give you the proper time to prepare. I wholly disagree with that. Because to change the concepts and the philosophies that are necessary to beat Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens, what we saw the Tennessee Titans be able to do that doesn't take manpower on the field. It takes brain power in the meeting room. It takes you to be behind your computer. It takes you to be on the whiteboard. And these are things that you can do probably even more so right now because of all of us now quarantining because of coronavirus. So this is a time where you got to apply between the ears more so than ever. And the only way you're going to stop Lamar Jackson is not physically finding guys who are capable of doing that athletically, is to come up with a scheme. And you can do that scheme even in the quiet of, schematically in your home or at the office.
Mic drop. I'm good with that.
Hold on. Marcellus, let me remind you, remember when that playoff game LeVar was coaching in where he was telling us about his scheme he had drawn up and it was going to shut down this team and blah, and it didn't work?
Don't do it.
What was the score, like 35-7 or something like that?
Maybe worse than that.
Yeah.
I don't collective memory.
Yeah, you're not going to scheme up with, again, because I'm going to tell you what a scheme has to have.
The scheme was perfect.
Let me tell you what scheme has to have. It has to have instinctive recall by the players. And so, again, coach can draw up all he wants. But if he has a short window to explain that and get that to the players to where they're not having to think on the field, they're just reacting, I think Lamar Jackson and that offense hit the 2020 season on a roll. I think he's even more unstoppable in the running game, and I think he's going to even be improved as a passer because, again, we've already seen it. And I can't say he's working harder than everybody else because there's a lot of guys that work really hard in the NFL. But I think coming off of back-to-back playoff disappointments, nobody more motivated than Lamar Jackson to get that monkey off his back. Again, will he win the MVP? Who knows? There'll be a lot. But I don't mind him being the favorite. I kind of agree with it. All right, let's move to the New England Patriots and Bill Belichick. Our friend here at the FS1, Colin Cowherd and Bill Simmons, sparked a rumor that the Patriots might consider trading Julian Edelman. It's been shot down by Tom Curran that covers the team very closely. And then we've had the Bills general manager say, look, the Patriots still the team to beat in the AFC East. Anyway, the fact of whether the Patriots would deal Julian Edelman, the fact, it leads to a question of, in Bill Belichick's mind, is he in rebuilding mode or is he in reload mode? Marcellus, what say you? Bill Belichick, what's he think? Rebuild or reload?
Okay, I reloaded. Boy, Belichick about to come get these boys. They are in trouble. You heard the Buffalo Bills and the general manager up there saying, until we beat the Patriots, we haven't done anything yet. And that's going to be the daunting task still, to beat the Patriots. Here's where the Patriots are in terms of mindset. Their confidence is a lot higher than I think is being advertised about the Patriots, because your confidence is just this balancing act between what you believe and what you have achieved. So think about who Bill Belichick is right now compared to who he was when he first got Tom Brady. Tom Brady forced on Bill Belichick as a sixth-rounder into the starting lineup because of the injury to Drew Bledsoe. And Tom Brady started to roll. The Patriots started to roll. Voila. Now you're here, and you have Stidham, who has a better talent base than the young Tom Brady. But now you have this confidence of knowing when Tom Brady wasn't in the lineup, what did our team do? Oh, we were 14-6 in terms of wins and losses. Matt Castle, 11 wins. Then you talk about Jimmy G and Jacoby Brissett, 3 wins, 1 loss. And now you're looking at Stidham, who is doing well in practice. And you watch Tom Brady in the game, miss a throw here, miss a throw there. We don't have the full intel of what Brady and Belichick are thinking. Hey, you're 4 steps late on that route right there, Tom. But when you go to practice, Stidham hits that same route. So I'm thinking quietly, behind closed doors, Bill Belichick is sitting there loving the fact that he has confidence in this roster he has right now, and they could go out there and win.
Yeah, the Patriot way is to reload before you have to rebuild. So when you're looking at what they're doing, people may have said they may struggle after they got rid of Ty Law or Lawyer Malloy, or you lose Teddy Bruschi, or, you know, you get rid of Darrelle Revis. Tom Brady, as Marcella said, goes down with an injury. The Patriot way is to make sure you are staying ahead of the curve. So if it's Stidham that they're going to use next year, maybe we don't know what that is, but before they make their decisions, you best believe that they are aware of what their opportunity is and what exists as they're making those cut and ties with relationships from even the most celebrated players ever in the history of the game. So it's definitely a reload.
I disagree with both of you all, and it's for this reason. The Patriot way is 19, 20 years of Tom Brady. This is the first time we've seen the Patriots without Tom Brady. And this reminds me of one of my favorite movies. I know it's a movie you guys have seen, Colors. And Robert Duvall and Sean Penn, 2 cops in Los Angeles. And Robert Duvall walks Sean Penn over and tells him a story about running down a hill versus walking down a hill. And the old guy's like, nah, let's walk down there and get them all. And so Tom Brady and Bill Belichick are sitting on a hill right now. Tom Brady's got 2 years left. He's trying to run down that hill and do as much as he can right now. Bill Belichick's like the old wise man. Man, I got 10, 15 more years of coaching. I ain't got to run down this hill. Tom Brady, let's say he goes out and has success in Tampa year 1, year 2. Who cares? I'm Bill Belichick. I have time on my side. I do believe that he's in a rebuild mindset. With his rebuild mindset, different than most, he can win 9 or 10 games in a rebuild and still sneak into the playoffs. Whereas other people, when they rebuild, that's winning 3, 4, 5, 6 games. I think Bill Belichick's in a rebuild mindset. Take his time, figure out who his quarterback is, see if they need to go out and get someone in next year's draft for Trevor Lawrence or whatever. I do believe they're rebuilding in New England.
Hey, Marcellus.
No.
Marcellus,
what's up?
I think like Whitlock, Ronald Isley is advising Whitlock and Bill Belichick on how to handle that hill. That's what I personally believe.
No, you know what's crazy? What I just caught there is that we forget who Bill Belichick is in terms of his motivation. Like, he already played that card before where I got years in front of me. I could start slow. The whole Cleveland Brown experience, and then even in New England, first 6 years as a head coach, 5 losing seasons. I don't care what circumstance you're in. Bill Belichick is highly motivated to still be Bill Belichick. He left Bill Parcells in his shadow, didn't want to become the Jets coach because he wanted to prove who he was. And now that Tom Brady leaves, you think he's going to take a back seat and say, oh, let him think less of me. Let me perform less than I used to be. I'll make it up. This dude is highly competitive, like a culmination of all the egos on his roster. This dude ain't trying to take a step back to take 2 steps forward later. He's trying to keep pace with Brady, if not outpace Brady. But he has a different way of doing it, which is really holding those expectations in check, but still outperforming them. Watch Bill Belichick, man. He's sneaky. I think Stidham's going to ball.
All right. We got to get out of here. Darnell Smith is going to join us with the question of the day. Tom Brady's going on the Howard Stern show. That could be crazy. Speak for yourself, presented by Hyundai. More after this.